A ditzy young woman humiliated a black man in a luxury hotel lobby, dismissing him with cruel words. Little did she know, her actions would set off a chain of events she'd regret forever. Stay with us to see how this powerful story unfolds. And while you're here, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love hearing from you. The Magnolia Grand, one of New York City's most opulent hotels, was a sanctuary for the wealthy and powerful. Its marble floors sparkled under dazzling chandeliers, and the scent of fresh roses wafted through the air. In the lavish lobby, designer luggage and tailored suits were the norm, with staff expertly catering to the elite clientele. Lauren Prescott lounged near the concierge desk, sipping an overpriced latte. With her designer dress and air of entitlement, she exuded the confidence of someone who believed the world revolved around her. Lauren, a socialite in her mid-20s, frequented the Magnolia Grand as though it were her second home. Jordan Carter, a black man in his early 40s, entered the lobby wearing a sharp but understated blazer and slacks. He walked with quiet confidence, holding a leather briefcase in one hand. Jordan had built a successful career as an entrepreneur and was at the hotel for a crucial meeting about a potential investment. Lauren's eyes narrowed as she spotted Jordan. She leaned over to her friend seated next to her, whispering loudly enough for others to hear. "I didn't know they were letting delivery people hang out in the lobby now." Jordan approached a seating area to wait for his meeting, but Lauren wasn't done. As he passed by her, she smirked and spoke louder. "Excuse me, but are you sure you're in the right place? This isn't the service entrance." Jordan stopped for a moment, his expression calm but firm. "I'm exactly where I need to be," he said before continuing to his seat. Lauren scoffed and followed him, latte in hand. "Well, maybe the staff should double-check. Not everyone can afford to stay here, you know." As Jordan sat down and opened his briefcase, Lauren feigned a stumble and spilled her coffee onto his blazer. "Oops," she exclaimed with a giggle. "Well, maybe that's a sign you should upgrade your wardrobe if you're going to sit here." Jordan calmly dabbed at his blazer with a napkin, his composed demeanor unshaken. Guests around the lobby began to watch the exchange, their curiosity growing. How much longer would he stay silent? Instead of reacting to Lauren's antics, Jordan focused on his briefcase, retrieving some documents. His silence only seemed to embolden her. "You know," Lauren continued, loud enough for the entire lobby to hear, "people like you should really stick to places that suit them. This is a luxury establishment." Jordan looked up briefly, his gaze meeting hers. "You have a lot to say for someone who doesn't know me," he said evenly, returning to his work. Lauren laughed, brushing off his comment. "Oh, please, it's obvious you're not exactly a guest here. You should thank me for pointing out the reality of this place." Several staff members exchanged uncomfortable glances, unsure if they should intervene. Meanwhile, other guests whispered among themselves, some pulling out their phones to discreetly record the scene. Jordan glanced at the growing crowd and then at Lauren. Should he let this continue, or reveal the truth that would change everything? As Jordan sat in silence, he reflected on similar experiences he had faced throughout his career. He had built a multi-million-dollar business from the ground up, but time and again people judged him based on his appearance rather than his achievements. He looked at Lauren, still smugly sipping what was left of her latte, and thought about the impact of her words. This wasn't just about him. It was about setting an example for everyone watching. Jordan reached for his phone and made a quick call. His voice was calm but firm. "Could you meet me in the lobby? There's something I think you should see." He ended the call and sat back, waiting. The staff, sensing that something significant was about to happen, exchanged whispers. Lauren, oblivious, continued to gloat. Who was Jordan calling, and what would happen next? A few minutes later, Mr. Simmons, the hotel's general manager, walked into the lobby. His tailored suit and authoritative stride commanded attention as he approached Jordan. "Mr. Carter, my apologies for keeping you waiting. How can I assist you?" Mr. Simmons asked warmly, extending a hand. Lauren's smile froze as she processed the exchange. She looked back and forth between Jordan and the manager, her confusion evident. Jordan stood, shaking Mr. Simmons's hand. "I wanted to address a matter of respect. This young woman," he said, gesturing to Lauren, has spent the past several minutes attempting to humiliate me, assuming I don't belong here." The color drained from Lauren's face. "Wait, what? I didn't mean—" Jordan continued, cutting her off. "What she doesn't realize is that I'm not just here as a guest. I'm one of the hotel's primary investors." Gasps rippled through the lobby. The onlookers who had been recording lowered their phones slightly, stunned by the revelation. Lauren's face turned crimson as murmurs spread among the guests. How would she recover from such a public humiliation? Mr. Simmons turned to Lauren, his expression stern and unyielding. "Miss Prescott, your behavior is completely unacceptable. This hotel prides itself on treating every guest and investor with dignity and respect. I expect better from anyone who steps through these doors." Lauren stammered, her face now a deep shade of red. I didn't know. I didn't mean anything by it. I thought he was just—" "Just what?" Jordan interjected, his voice calm but cutting. "Someone you could mock because they didn't fit your narrow idea of who belongs here? You didn't stop to ask or learn. You judged, and you humiliated yourself in the process." The onlookers in the lobby watched in stunned silence, their eyes bouncing between Jordan and Lauren. A few of them began murmuring in agreement, their voices growing louder as they expressed their disapproval of Lauren's actions. Mr. Simmons nodded solemnly. "This is a lesson for all of us. Our reputation as a luxury establishment doesn't come from marble floors or crystal chandeliers. It comes from how we treat people. Tonight, we failed to uphold that standard." Lauren tried once more to salvage her pride. "I'll apologize. Really, I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. I just didn't know who you were." Jordan shook his head, his tone resolute. "It shouldn't matter who I am. Whether I'm an investor, a guest, or someone delivering packages, respect shouldn't depend on status. That's the real problem here." Applause began to ripple through the lobby, growing louder as more guests joined in. Some of the staff nodded in approval, while others exchanged glances of relief, knowing the incident would serve as a powerful example. Mr. Simmons turned to Lauren. "Miss Prescott, I'm afraid we'll need to ask you to leave for the evening. We'll also be reviewing your status as a frequent guest here." Mr. Simmons escorted Lauren out of the lobby, promising that her behavior would not go unaddressed. He returned to Jordan with an apology. "We'll be reviewing our guest policies to ensure incidents like this never happen again." Jordan nodded, his calm composure intact. "That's all I ask. This isn't about punishment. It's about improvement." As Jordan left the hotel, heads turned in admiration. The incident had turned into a powerful lesson about assumptions and respect, one that Lauren and everyone who witnessed it would never forget. Ever seen someone's assumptions get turned upside down? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that challenge stereotypes and inspire change.